Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Monday, June 2nd. Midst of the offseason, the finals are set. The Celtics trade rumors are still ramping up because, well, the NBA season's not over yet, so we probably won't get any news yet. But we're here. Plenty of stuff to talk about. A few tidbits of Celtics news, rumors floating around that are new for us to chat about as well. So we'll go over all that. How you doing, Sam?
Doing pretty good. Excited to do the show today. Have a fun show for you guys. We'll dissect the latest speculation around the Celtics. We'll talk about a big loss for the franchise, go through your emails, then we'll go around the NBA, talk about the finals, talk about our good friends New York Knicks, talk about this stupid Suns coaching search that just has gone on forever, and then Giannis, mutual interest with Eastern Conference team, so they say. And we'll do the rat list and get up out of here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come hang out through all of it. Subscribe. We're here every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday. Sunday game recaps are up the morning after each game. And other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics.
Yes, let's start with Al Horford / the Knicks / Sam Hauser. The Knicks just got eliminated from the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals, obviously. And
Rip bozos.
Apparently, Al Horford could be somebody they go after. This is from Tim Bontemps on the Hoop Collective podcast. It's pure speculation. There is no reporting. It is just this could make sense. So keep that in mind. But he said Al Horford is a free agent. I don't think at this point it makes a lot of sense for Horford to be back in Boston. Maybe he will be, but given where the things are with the Celtics, I think he's now much more in play than he might have been a month ago. Horford is a longtime friend of Karl Anthony Towns and has played with him in the Dominican national team for a long time, talking about how the Knicks could potentially target Horford. I get it for the Knicks. I get the relationship with Cat. On top of that, Zach Buckley of Bleacher Report put together a list of like, oh, here are the top Knicks targets. Again, no actual reporting, just like this could make sense. And he was like, Sam Hauser could make sense because they need more depth. Shooting makes sense. If the Celtics want a dumb salary, maybe there could be something that could be worked out there. I will say, I've maintained this ever since the end of the season, and I stand by it. I think Al Horford will retire before he joins another organization. That's not the Celtics. It doesn't make any sense to me. Just listening to the way he talks about the Celtics organization, listening to the way he has spoken about the Celtics organization. I don't think like Jason Tatum's injury and the fear of not contending for I think he would retire and then come back before he did anything else. I just don't see him joining another organization. Sam Hauser could make some sense. Like, I understand why that is like, oh, maybe this could work for the Knicks because he makes $10 million. The Knicks could probably find a way to match that, and the Celtics could just reroute that money elsewhere. It doesn't even have to be the Nets at that point because that's not even like significant enough salary to where you'd need a huge like space. I get why the Knicks would want to steal Al Horford and Sam Hauser, and particularly Al Horford, because this is like, I mean, they're both the same speculation. One's just Zach Buckley and one is Tim Bontemps. Neither of them are actual reporting. It's just this could make sense. I get it, why the Knicks would be interested. I don't see Horford happening. Maybe Hauser, but I don't see Horford happening.
Yeah, even like from a like storylines aside perspective, right? Like basketball only. The Knicks have Towns. They have Mitch. The minutes, granted, Mitch is not guaranteed to be out on the floor every single night. It's just he has a long history.
And they run double bigs a lot.
Okay, they run double bigs a lot. But even then, the minutes won't be there in bulk for Horford. And at 39 today, actually, June 3rd, as this is released, it is his birthday. Happy birthday from HBTC to you. Does he really want to be playing a lot of minutes? That's the question. I think if he stays with the Celtics, he'll have a more prominent role. He'll get to stay with the team that he's been a part of for, 8 total seasons now? He's played a lot of games for the Celtics and has his whole family up here and everything. But that's life in the NBA. Sometimes they move. But I think your point about him retiring before he would go and move everything again makes a lot of sense at this point. But we've heard reports in the past that he wants to play basketball until he cannot play basketball anymore. So that's going to be a factor in all of this as well. If I had to like put a percentage on what percentage I think he's going to be back, I'd say 75%. I think like you can sit here and think about this if you're Al Horford and be like, well, the grass is not always greener. I learned this before. Do I really want to leave again? And if the answer is yes, the answer is yes, but it doesn't feel super likely.
and I'm not saying you're doing this. I'm saying this in general because like Bontemps said this thing. I reject the notion that everyone just assumes old players are like, fuck this team, I want to go compete for a championship. Like that's just like the assumed mindset every play. Like once you turn 35, you're automatically just, I want to go compete for a championship. Nothing else matters.
Maybe if you didn't
like
win
that,
one already.
But even regardless, like that completely like I get that we see a lot of players do that, but that completely disregards every other aspect of like a person's life. Like what if their family likes to be in a certain situation? What if they have really close friends in an organization? What if they have built roots there? Look at James Johnson. I know the Pacers are in the finals now, but dude has been chilling on the Indiana Pacers for 4 years just because he fucking likes it. Like why is it just like, you know, like Al Horford is now, 37, so obviously he's going to want to leave the Celtics because he wants to be like, why is that automatically just the way people are thinking about it? Like that doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's dumb.
Well, I just think there's the change of expectations, like where with the free agency looming 2 months ago, we all were like, okay, like regardless, Tatum's back, Brown's back, like the majority of people are back. And then for that situation to be shaken up so quickly, it may be difficult to kind of cope with that or handle that expectation change.
But then why is the immediate expectation? And again, this is not like directing at you. This is just a back and forth because you were bringing up points that other people are making. Why is the immediate thing like, oh shit, Tatum's hurt, he's gonna leave now? Like what? Why isn't there any more nuance of like,
because he can.
He probably just really likes Boston. He probably has like, why does all the other information we have ever like learned about Al Horford loving the city like evaporate? Like why is that no longer exist because of one thing? Like why is this one thing of it's going to be significantly harder / maybe impossible to win a championship next year? Why does that get rid of every other thing we've ever learned about Al Horford? And again, I like just like why is that like the immediate media narrative? Like that doesn't like that's silly to me. Like why does that take precedent? Like
gotta talk about something.
But like
talk about something.
It's dumb. I just think I reject it. I think it's super stupid. I think, is there a chance he leaves? Sure. Like that's obviously a factor, but I don't think if you think about the way Al Horford has conducted himself throughout his entire career, especially considering, like you said, he has tried that route before and it did not go well. I don't think that is just automatically going to be his mindset. Like everything we've learned about Horford, everything we've seen coming out of Horford's mouth and everything we've heard from him for the past 3 years indicates the exact opposite, and yet one thing gets rid of all of that information that we learned. Like I just, that doesn't make any sense to me.
I just think there's part of it where with him particular, there was no expectation of this being like a down gap year next year. Like when the free agency is looming, he's not thinking about that.
Yes.
What I'll say that is completely different than 2019, trial and error aside, is there's no like looming bad vibes. Like that 2019 season was a fucking disaster. Even though they swept the first round and then they win game 1 in Milwaukee and then it's a disaster from there on in. Like the whole season we spent the year, I mean, we weren't doing this yet, but like in our own like respective fan lives, we're like, why is this team not good?
And even then, he was like, if I had known Kemba was coming, I probably wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Yes. Yeah. The Kemba part of that is my favorite thing about him. He's like, just like, damn.
And then like what you said, it's not like he's chasing this empty part of his career anymore. Like it's not like he is chasing this thing that he has never gotten to experience. Like he's already won one. And obviously you want to keep winning. Like that is always the goal. But I just, the way he has talked about the Celtics organization, I can't imagine he would be like, nah, I'm going to go ring chase for another team that my fit. Like, just look at the way he has brought Ian around everywhere he's gone this year. Like,
thought when I saw the report come out today,
use that, man. Yeah,
I was just like, damn, what if Ian's wearing Knicks gear next year? That would kill me.
See, it does, like, it just, it doesn't make sense. Like, you talk about a guy who has planted roots in the city, who has tested out other waters and come back to where he was because he loved it. So like it doesn't make sense to me, man. I don't see it happening.
I think the ring chase stuff actually makes more sense if the guy's like in his prime, like Durant, right? Like
sure,
when Durant left, like yeah, everybody was heated, but kind of can get it. Like with the way that we all talk about players and how great they were based on how much they won. If you really care about all that stuff, wanting to get ahead of it and just be like, fuck you, man, I'm just going to go win then, makes a little bit more sense. And, not wanting to waste your prime is a real thing, especially as a all-star level talent in the NBA, you can see somebody getting fed up and being like, well, like, I don't want to waste the next 3 years of my career in a rebuild. Not to even say 3 years of the Celtics' future is going to be rebuilding territory, but next year doesn't seem like it's very clear, and it might be the last year of his career. So
he could retire.
He could retire tomorrow. We don't know. I think just the looming possibility of retirement may make him say, well, I don't really know if I want this to be the last year of my career, but he very well could. Look at James Johnson is a great example. The Pacers have overachieved in back-to-back playoffs. I don't think anybody has had major expectations for them to go as deep as they've gone. Udonis Haslem's another great example. Well, yeah, Chris Paul. Chris Paul's a good one too. But Chris Paul hasn't even won a ring. It's a really good point.
Exactly.
Actually. But like Haslem's another type guy that like think of guys who have been with teams for a long time and like just kind of hung out and didn't play and didn't really care.
And like even outside of that iteration of player, like sometimes these older guys just like going to a situation they enjoy being in. Look at Jeff Green. Did he really think the Rockets were going to win a title for the past 3 seasons? Or was he just like, this is a cool situation. I like it. I want to be a part of this.
Did he re-sign there as a free agent? I know he was traded to Houston.
I think he re-signed there, right? Let me double check.
It's very likely that he did because that trade was 2 years ago now.
Exactly, yeah. I think he re-upped there on he signed there out of Denver because he was in Denver for the championship. Then he went to Houston.
Oh, he just left as a free agent. You're right.
Yeah.
My mistake. I'm sorry.
So like my whole point is like sometimes people just want like championships are obviously a big part of why people make decisions, but it's not the only reason players make decisions. And I think that gets lost sometimes. So I don't know about Horford. As far as the Knicks maybe targeting Sam Hauser, it could make some sense, right? Like if you look at the players they have under contract, it would be a little bit difficult to get a deal done. I mean, there are, like I said, more than just the Nets in terms of who could potentially take on some extra salary for cap space. Like the Bulls are going to have around 15 mil in cap space, so you could make something happen there if you wanted to feed the Bulls some picks, and they probably need some picks at this point. Like they could use someone or use some picks to help reset what they want to do. Like if you send Hauser to New York could send out I don't know,
Kolek.
It would probably have to be Mitchell Robinson or Josh Hart, which maybe they don't want to do because that makes things a little bit difficult.
Mitchell Robinson for Sam Hauser. Who says no?
I mean, like you could technically do a sign and trade with like fucking Precious Achiuwa, but it's going to be really hard for the Knicks to make trades this summer.
Celtics can't do it, right?
Celtics can't take a sign and trade. Correct.
Yep.
But I mean, theoretically, if the Knicks really wanted to get up to that number, they would have to include Miles McBride at the very least, and then it would have to be McBride and others. Like it would be very hard for the Knicks to get up to the number to bring in Sam Hauser unless it is a sign and trade, and that sign and trade would have to go elsewhere, which we have seen before. We saw Daquan Jeffries get signed and traded to the Hornets this past summer because the Knicks needed to do a matching salary for the Cat trade, and so the Hornets took on that salary, and Jeffries actually ended up being an okay player for them. So maybe a team around the league is willing to take on that sign and trade to where but a sign and trade has to be at least 3 years. So it would have to be a long-term sign and trade of somebody taking that money on the books. And again, maybe that is, Precious Achiuwa going to Chicago or something along those lines, but it would have to be really interesting. That said, it would make sense for the Knicks.
What financial threshold are they in?
Who?
The Knicks.
They are a first apron team. Yeah, currently. So
having to know all this stuff sucks now. Fuck you, CBA. Like
it would be
just
hard.
Ruined all of the fun summer stuff ahead of what. I mean, this is a brief thing that we don't have to talk forever about, but Wendy went on TV and was like, GMs are expecting an explosive summer, which everybody and their mother could tell you. But man, now we have to know all these stupid rules.
If the Knicks acquired Sam Hauser, they would be a second apron team by too much, so they couldn't actually do it. They can't receive a player to sign and trade. They'd be sending one out, so they probably could. I don't know. It'd be weird. It'd get funky if the Knicks wanted to try to trade for Sam Hauser because they have a lot of large contracts on the books. But
I just feel like there are going to be other destinations that are going to be able to give you a better package for Sam Hauser.
Yeah. Like Detroit has 24 mil in cap space, so they could take it on and give you a couple picks. Memphis is projected to have 17 mil. If they want to take on Sam Hauser, that would actually make a lot of sense. The Pelicans are going to have 12 mil. The Bulls 14. Like there are teams out there who could, find a way, make it happen. But anyways, Before we continue, I need to tell you guys about PirzePicks. PirzePicks is the best place to get real money sports action this summer, this baseball season, as you're checking out the Red Sox, who are not in the best place, but they're trying their best.
Yesterday.
They won yesterday, and maybe they'll continue to try their best. But Sam and I do the PirzePicks every single pregame show during the season. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 2,000x your cash. For basketball, that can be points, that can be rebounds, assists, 3-pointers, anything you can think of. For baseball, runs, RBIs, home runs, anything you got there. Make sure to check it out on PrizePicks. You can even mix and match player projections from different sports. Combine your favorite basketball players, from baseball players to hockey players to esports, if that's what you want, anything like that. Sign up today, get $50 instantly. When you play $5, you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And then with the basketball playoffs wrapping up, but the action is still heating up, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports as you check out the finals over there. With basketball going on. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, next thing. Austin Ainge, who has been a part of the Celtics front office for years now, is leaving to be the leader, the president of basketball operations of the the Jazz front office. He's joining Danny Ainge out there. His dad, right? Their dad, right? Austin Ainge, son of Danny Ainge, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. He spent 14 years in Boston and is 6 in his current role. This is per Tim Bontemps, and is now going to be the leader of Utah's front office under his dad.
A lot of people in the community saying this is a very big loss for the Celtics. Ainge has been a big part of their draft process. Big part of the scouting department, probably a massive reason why guys like Peyton Pritchard, Grant Williams, Aaron Nesmith now, and others have Shireman, Hauser, who was undrafted, Rob, like these late picks have managed to blossom into awesome guys that have helped the Celtics win meaningful basketball games. And Himmelsbach just put out a piece for the Globe literally like minutes ago. We had already started recording that says they aren't even going to fill this spot, and the negotiations happened very quickly, and it wasn't like a known thing. So I think that clarity from Himmelsbach is something that should make you feel at least a little bit better, because this wasn't the Celtics have a new owner. All right, I'm good. Like I don't need to work here anymore. Like I'll go work with my dad in Utah. That's not the case. And also, I said it before, said it again. Jack probably agrees. Chisholm doesn't feel like a new team gonna got everything I possibly can type of guy coming in, and he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's gonna rub people the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't think this move has anything to do with bad vibes in the Celtics front office. I think it is simply, my dad runs an NBA franchise. I'm going to get an opportunity to lead the NBA franchise. I would like to do that. Like I feel like that is as simple as it is. Sometimes it's just a better opportunity pops up, and I mean, aren't they from Utah, or they went to BYU? Like they have connections.
Ainge is from Oregon, but he went to BYU.
Yeah, so you understand why Austin Ainge also went to BYU. So it's like you can understand why they would like to have some connection to
coach
that.
There.
Exactly. So there is always some. Yeah, he coached at Southern Utah. There's always some sort of connection to the point of like, he wants to go not home, but like back to a place he likes a lot, work with his family, like be a part of that community, and in an increased role. Like as much as he undoubtedly has a connection and loves the city of Boston at this point, like getting the chance to run an NBA franchise, like that's not exactly something that pops up every day. Like that's not something, like if he declines this, he may never have the opportunity again. So I don't think this is at all a indicator that, the Celtics are getting messy. I think it's just like, yeah, he had a really good chance. Like just like, I'm trying to think of an example. Charles Lee joining the Hornets isn't like, oh, get me out, we're gonna lose. It's like he could be the fucking head coach.
He knew
franchise. There's 30 of those spots. Like that's not something you give up the opportunity to do. This is the same.
Him, Coach Buck, Blaine Miller, they all knew.
Mm-hmm. It's a big loss for the Celtics, but you understand why he does it. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Like you said, they're not going to fill it, so it's just going to be Brad and the rest of that front office leading the way. But yeah. I
also trust Brad, so that should make everyone feel good. That I personally trust Brad. Everyone should trust Brett, actually. But yeah, we'll see if we learn more and more about this as the days go on. I hope it doesn't affect them because I have been on the massive hill of just the draft is super important. You can't mess up the draft lately. Like, that's all I'm thinking about is, like, you have to draft well. CBA is going to make you draft well. So you better be ready.
Drafting well is very important. Let's check out the emails. A reminder, as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. We have a couple today, both from Rob, who was so kind to explain the CBA to us in a previous email. He's got a little bit more for us today. First one we've got from Rob is TPE in the cap space list. Hi, folks. Since Jack worries about whether a team is a TPE and overvalues Brooklyn cap space for sub 30 million transactions, here's a list of teams with high TPEs and cap space currently. Cap space: Brooklyn 91 mil, Detroit 27, Chicago 19, Memphis 18, San Antonio 11. This is cap space before projected. So say Brooklyn has 91, but this is before any potential re-signings and stuff like that. Like, for example, I'll show you what I look at. SpotTrack has projected total cap space, which is at 55, because that is what they are projected to have after they re-sign certain players who they believe. Like, this is like predictive cap space versus actual, but it's a similar list. It's just accounting for that as well. This list doesn't include teams who could reach higher amounts of cap space by not picking up a player's option or a player opting out on a player options, as Fanspo/SpotTrack assumes teams get picked up on. Well, then that's interesting because Rob, email us back. Where did you get this 91? Because I didn't see this anywhere on SpotTrack. Just out of curiosity. I believe you. I'm just curious because I don't see it.
Pockets are deep over there.
And then let's see what else. This is just the number after removing the cap holds in Fanspo/SpotTrack. I see. So yeah, we don't have to compete to do business with Brooklyn. We are likely flipping a sub $30 million contract to a third team. If Brooklyn doesn't want to play ball, we can call up Detroit, Chicago, Memphis, or San Antonio. There's bound to be a team who would be interested in the flip players. Again, I hope this kills the notion that we'd have to pay most teams to take the excess salary unless we're sending back bad players. We have alternatives if Brad doesn't want to flip players into cap space. Here's the TPE list. Atlanta has a 25 million TPE, Brooklyn 23, Chicago 17, Sacramento 16, Miami 16, New Orleans 13. I don't know if these are individual TPEs or like a combined total. I didn't list anyone with 11 to 12 million dollar TPEs. Is there too many? Okay, these are individual TPEs. So again, we have options in case the above list doesn't work. We aren't limited to just sending out Hauser teams with the MLE. Or we also aren't limited to just sending Hauser out to teams with the MLE. The above teams are options. Again, I hope this kills the notion that we'd have to pay the most teams picks to take excess salary unless we're sending back bad players. If we have to flip good players to cut salary like Gafford, PG Washington, these teams would actually pay us picks to get them as they aren't the sole choice. Hopefully that clears things up and also inspires people to the people creating mock trades to make more creative trades. I try to keep it simple though. 4-team trades are usually unneeded. The pattern for effective KP and Drew trades is to simply break them down into smaller salaries, 2 to 3 solid players, then flip them or maybe keep the cheapest one into any of the above teams for picks, keeping in mind their roster needs. Again, Rob version 1. And also I think another point is like flipping them for picks. Those picks could also go to the team that is taking, Drew, if they don't want the long-term money. Like there are ways to get creative to where the Celtics wouldn't have to be the team taking or giving up the picks. I agree. My whole point is if you want to dump all of KP's salary onto the Nets, because that is really the only place you could do that, like to really shed it, that could take some picks. And I also do just think there is going to be a general notion that like maybe people don't really want KP, maybe people don't really want the Drew salary, so there could be a situation where you have to give up a couple seconds. I don't know if they'll have to give up first. I just don't think it's impossible that it could be a possibility. Like I think there's a chance, but yeah.
Man, I hope they don't have to give up first. Just feels so over the top.
Think they'll give up first. Unless it is a situation where they have to give up, like they are clearing a bunch of salary and getting good players, like there is a line where it could be worth it to give up first. I don't think like they will have to give up first to just dump salary. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it would have to be you get very under the second apron and get quality players back that you can extend and have as part of your core. But I don't think.
Or you get Giannis.
Worth first round picks. Or you get Giannis. Exactly.
You get Giannis. Everyone get excited that they're getting Giannis. But Rob, thank you. These emails have been. Well, we have the other one too, so we're going to see if I'm. I don't want to speak too soon, but these emails have been very helpful.
Yes. Let's go look at the other one. Rob also says, Salary matching trades misconceptions. Hi, folks. Another email of I hope something people will learn from as they make mock trades. I noticed that a lot of people are so concerned with the salary matching as close as possible in Celtics trade. So this is not needed 100% of the time. Most trades end up with the Celtics taking back more salary than needed. There are two rules that circumvent this. Cap space matters. I know you don't have to have the cap space that match the value of KP or Drew. Here's a sample trade that is all legal, works in Fanspo and Spot Track. Boston gets Brandon Clark and Jay Huff, 14.8 mil. Memphis gets KP, 30.7. It works, but prior information tells you it shouldn't work. There's a 15.9 million gap in salary. Memphis should salary match as close as possible, not all the time. If the team is taking the higher salary has cap space, then they can have the cap space absorb the difference in salaries. There's a 15.9 million gap in salary, which neatly fits into Memphis's $18 million of cap space. That's why you don't need Brooklyn every time to cut a significant amount of salary. Pro tip: renounce the cap holds of the receiving team in Spot Track and Fanspo if you're having trouble executing a deal that should work. Whether the receiving team is under the first apron matters. Teams under the first apron don't have to match salaries closely every time either. There can be a $7.5 million gap. This helps the Celtics cut salary as long as the incoming salary is $36.5 million or less. And under the apron team can have a $7.5 million gap for salary matching, sending out up to $29 million. Both Drew and KP fall into this bracket with their salary. So this means for Drew, the Celtics can take back his salary as low as $25 million, and for KP, they can take back salary as low as $23 million. The above approach helps cut down the salary before the Celtics can flip the salaries into a third team's TPE or cap space. So again, as we see in the above amounts, it's low enough that we can flip full amounts to a team like Detroit, $27 million in cap space. There's no need to rely on Brooklyn. Even if it's multiple salaries that add up to the above, then it's easier flipped into teams with TPEs or MLEs. So, for example, Boston gets Bogdanovich, $16 million, Jones Jr., $10 million. LA Clippers get Drew, 32. So there's $6 million gap in salary matching. Other people I see making similar mock trades add Eubanks, $5 million to the deal, closely matched salaries. There's no need for that. The Clips are an under the first apron team. They are allowed to have a $7.5 million gap. These two salaries are now smaller and can easily fit into multiple teams' TPEs. So again, if one team doesn't want to play ball, call another team. Bogey and DJJ aren't trash players. Someone with cap space or TPE is going to want them and pay an asset for them so they can go get them before another team does. Attach our screenies as usual. Hopefully people will find these useful and insightful. Thanks, Rob. And then these are the trade examples that he sent us to explain. Thank you, Rob. My whole thing is I don't want to get like misconstrued, like the Celtics need Brooklyn, like they're going to have to pay Brooklyn. My whole thing is a lot of these teams you are using as examples, and I'm not disagreeing with you, like those are very possible. A lot of these teams you're using as examples, Memphis, Detroit, are going to want to like try to win. The reason I'm using Brooklyn is because they're not going to do that. So they could be more okay with taking on these salaries because it's not useful. Like while those teams could want them, they could also want to use it on a player they feel fits better with what they're trying to do. Like maybe that is Derek Jones and maybe that is Brandon Clark or maybe that is somebody else, but it could also not be. And they could want to save that cap space to find somebody that could help them win. Like the Pistons are going to want to try to push for a playoff run. The Grizzlies are probably going to want to try to push for a playoff run. Maybe the Bulls are a really good example because who fucking knows what they're doing. But like the Pelicans are probably going to want to try to push for a playoffs depending on what happens with them. Like there's all these like confusing things like that. That's why I use the Nets, because it is very painfully clear that the Nets are probably not going to make a playoff push next year. And so getting them to take on money that they might not otherwise want could be the best avenue, because those other teams could just live in a world of uncertainty. But you're 100% correct. It is not, they don't have to use Brooklyn. That's just the go-to because of the state of their current team.
Yeah, and I appreciate you pointing out that they don't have to match the salary. I see it's not so much the listeners of this show, thank goodness. I love you guys, but they're like the fan accounts on Twitter that'll put out mock trades, and it's like the Celtics are getting the same salary back, and it's like you don't understand what the purpose of this is. The purpose is to cut money. I don't care if they get Drew Eubanks to match the salaries or to get as many possible players back to try and like make you feel better about giving up Drew Holiday. It's like, I want to see the cap go down. That's what I want to see. I don't want them to have their draft pick fall at the end of the first round.
It's going to be so fun.
Let them save money.
I guarantee you, as soon as the Shams notification comes out for the first Celtics trade, Spot Track's going to crash.
What do you mean?
Everyone's going to go to Spot Track. How much money did they save? How much money did they save?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Everyone's going to go to the website, and we're going to get a Keith Smith tweet that's just like, sorry, guys, we need to shut it down for a few minutes.
If they can find a way to save money while also, like, getting people excited about something that's not just saving money, then they have done a tremendous job.
That's why I think I forgot who sent us the trade. I feel bad. I think it was Rob. It was Rob in our YouTube comments. The trade that was like Drew to the Clippers, Norm Powell to the Hawks, Celtics get pick 13. That was like the dream trade.
I was like,
all the salary and get a pick free.
Especially like in that case, you're shredding, in my opinion, like the more volatile contract. You're getting a good draft pick, and you can keep Porzingis. I'm starting to like come around on Porzingis, not so much as, oh my God, holy shit, I want to keep him, but as a long-term play, as silly as it sounds with all the health stuff, as a long-term play who you could maybe like pay less money after this next year, keeping him around wouldn't be the worst thing because there's a chance to keep that talent while also cutting costs down the line. But I'm not going to be shedding tears in needing all these tissues next to me if they trade him. I think like that is a fine trade too. You have to cut the cost. That's just what it is.
The Porzingis thing to me, I don't get how we went from like, yeah, like look at this 30 mil. It's going to be easy to trade because it's expiring to like, not just you, like all of our comments today were like, just keep him. I'm like, you guys are completely missing.
Well, you can't like easily keep him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like it has gone from like, yeah, that's like the obvious salary that can be moved because it's expiring and teams might actually be willing to take a chance because it's expiring to like, nah, just keep him because his value is low, which I get. But then at the same time, people are like, cut Sam Hauser's 30 million, but like don't trade Porzingis. Like, and I get Sam Hauser probably has a little bit more value than Porzingis at this point because he's on a cheaper contract, but like that's so backwards to me. Everyone's like rushing to trade Sam Hauser and get him out the door, but they're like, nah, let's see what we got with Porzingis. Like, do you not understand how much more money Porzingis makes than Sam Hauser? Like, do you not know how much more that would help get back like in the salary world? Like that's where I get lost. I'm like, we're missing the point now. Now we're missing the purpose of what all these trades are.
Well,
Like,
yes,
I
absolutely.
Understand. Like I understand wanting to capitalize on Porzingis' value, and I know like it's low right now, but that is just like not even close to the point of the trade. Like at no point in this whole thing, at least from my perspective, like was it about, oh, he's gonna have good value. It's about shedding $30 million he makes that you cannot afford to have on the books. It has nothing to do with value and the fact that he was bad in the playoffs, which he was. Like, even if he had balled out and played incredible in the playoffs, it was always going to be, you kind of have to trade. Like, it was always going to be this. Even if they had won the championship, it was going to be, you kind of have to trade. So, like,
but like that would be a better situation to be in, being like, damn, like someone's going to be like, let's go get Porzingis.
100%. But it doesn't change the fact that you still like are in a situation where you probably have to trade him. Like
I think we should all sit and
so
wait till Eurobasket.
You have to trade him.
No, you almost
yes.
You almost 100% have to trade him. The like unless you do like the Miracle Drew trade where you don't have to take back any salary, which doesn't really exist.
But even then, you should still probably trade him so you can afford to sign all those rookies because the 13th pick is going to make like $8 million.
Yes.
And then also re-sign Luke Cornett and maybe bring back Horford. And
we'd have to look at the table first.
Like, yes. The point is, shedding close to $60 million is going to go a hell of a lot longer way than shedding 30 and having like this much room to work to fill the rest of your roster.
Do you see like why? Well, technically in a year you can shed the 30 million for free.
Yeah, but that's the problem's about now. Getting on the second apron for this season.
Correct. If you're worried about the second apron for this season, it is, well, you have to be worried about the second apron. Yes. I want to make sure I'm making sense. Like, I am not saying keep him at all costs. If you manage to get away with it in keeping him to stay under it, I think you will be able to alleviate the problem in the future. Like, if you, I'm not saying gut the rest of your roster to keep Porzingis. He's not that important. But if you keep him past this season, you're probably not going to end up having to pay him $30 million again. You're probably going to end up paying anywhere from $15 to $20 million. You'll shed the salary regardless, and maybe you get lucky and he's still a good player. But you still have all these injury problems that are very real. The sickness doesn't concern me as much as the rest of the things because that has been a career trend. The sickness is weird, and hopefully it goes away. Yeah, but he has been injury prone his whole career.
Exactly. And my other problem is like everyone's like just trade him at the deadline instead. it is so much harder to make moves in season versus out of season. Like so much harder.
You don't have the
Like
cap space.
you don't
with
have
teams.
the cap space. Teams are already like a lot of these teams who could maybe want Porzingis are already like know what they want to go, know what direction they want to go in with their teams. They already have other guys like they've already made moves in the summer. There's less flexibility. It's just a lot harder. I get it. I understand not wanting to trade Porzingis now because his value is low, but I don't think it like the fact that his value is low can change the plan that you had to have had, even if you'd won a title. But anyways, before we continue, I need to tell you about Game Time. It's the best place for all your ticketing needs. This baseball season, this basketball season, any season you've got going on, because Game Time is more than just sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater, anything you can imagine. Make sure to check out Game Time for all your ticketing needs. Let me pull up gametime.co. That's gametime.co to show you exactly what you can see. Also, check out the Game Time app so you can see all these great features. My favorite feature on Game Time always is and always will be the fact that you can see exactly what your seats are going to look like here at Fenway Park. If you want to go to this Red Sox game, you can take a look at this Fire Emblem seat, which is the cheapest deal they have in the stadium, and see exactly what you're going to see from your seat. On top of that, you can see zone deals here, which means you can pick the zone right here, get a cheaper price, and then get seated randomly in that zone. So you don't get to pick your seat, but you do get a good deal. On top of that, Game Time has the feature where you can toggle on and off hidden fees. So you don't get surprised with anything by the time you get to checkout. It's the best place for all your ticketing needs this sports season and anything past sports. Like I said, it's not just a sports ticketing app. Plus, Game Time Picks means curation makes it easier to find better value for tickets to, again, sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Let's move on to the NBA section here. We've got a little bit of Knicks news following their elimination from the playoffs. Did we talk about the Knicks getting eliminated on the show yet?
No, because I was moving with Kalen on Saturday, so I wasn't here.
We can wrap that in
Noah.
then. Yeah, we can wrap that in too then. The Knicks are out. Pacers are going to the finals. We can do a little finals preview too after we talk about the Knicks, but yeah, Knicks are done. No more Knicks.
What a great day. What a great day Saturday was. The Hate Watch was really fun on Playback with Jake. The highlights are up on the First the Floor YouTube. Me screaming in my room here at like 10:30 p.m. to get the Knicks the fuck out of here, send these bums home, was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was really sad to see a team as likable as the Knicks with such great fans and passionate players like Karl Anthony Towns. You want to root for them, and they weren't able to get the job done. They really blew game one at home and never really recovered from it in the series. Sounds like another team I know. But the Pacers are awesome. All jokes aside, they play an awesome style of basketball. It's fun watching them just take the ball out of the basket and then immediately beat the Knicks or whoever it is down the floor for an easy response. Halliburton was incredible. Pascal Siakam was like sneaky. Like, I didn't even think twice about the Conference Finals MVP going to him until it did. I was like, oh shit. Didn't realize how he was just quietly nasty the whole time, making big shots in big moments.
This is the second straight year that Eastern Conference Finals went to the vibe check rather than the person it should have gone to.
Yeah, people are really mad about that in this community.
It's so silly. Listen, I'm not going to take away anything from Jaylen Brown and Pascal Siakam. Both of them earned their Finals MVP, but it feels like the voters were trying to be cool by voting for the guy who wasn't
hipster voting.
Yeah, they're hipster voting, but then too many of them hipster voted. Like the way it should have gone down was Tatum won 6-3 and Halliburton won 6-3, and there was these votes to show respect to those guys, but too many of them did the respect votes to where
miscommunication.
Exactly. It's ridiculous that Halliburton did not win Eastern Conference Finals MVP. It's more egregious than Jaylen Brown last year, and Tatum should have won last year. It's exactly that. It's too many people did the hipster vote to try to be cool of showing respect to that second player, and then it fucked up the whole vote. It was silly. Not that it mattered. Like you said, Pascal Siakam was incredible in the conference finals, but what the fuck are we doing?
It was sad to see the clip go viral of Halliburton thinking he was about to get his name called, and then it wasn't him.
Poor guy.
He deserved at least recognition. I mean, he was.
Bro, it was like. I'm pulling up the stats. You go ahead.
You know what's funny about this is like I was thinking in my head, I was like, well, last year I think I was in the camp that felt like Jalen really deserved it. Like Tatum had, I don't know, Tatum was really good in the games in Indiana, but Jalen had some monsters. I think he had like 40 in game 2. Obviously, makes the shot at the end of game 1.
This year's was a lot worse than Jalen winning for sure.
But like even thinking back to it, I'm like, well, Halliburton had the big shot in game 1. Then he had the massive, like maybe the greatest game ever in game 3.
He had the moments and the stats, and still lost.
Yeah. I mean, Siakam, to his credit, made like, I don't remember which game it was. It might have been game 4 or game 2, where he made like every big shot to kill the Knicks' momentum.
People care about efficiency way too much in the playoffs.
I love efficiency.
The playoffs are about winning. Win the game. Win the game. Of course, stars are going to have worse efficiency. They're getting targeted, obviously, right? Like Halliburton or Siakam shot 25 points, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists on 50% shooting. He shot 50% from 3 on 3 attempts a game, right? That's great. Halliburton shot 46% from the field, 33% from 3, so less efficient, but he averaged 21, 6, and 10.5 on less than 2 turnovers a game. And he had the shot in game 1, and he had the big game in game 5. We get too caught up with efficiency, guys. He averaged 4 more points than him, but 7 less assists and 1 fewer rebound. What are we doing? what are we doing? That's crazy.
I mean, I think there's a lot to be said about Siakam's defensive presence, but like I'm not here to argue with you. I don't care who won the fucking award.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody cares less about these stupid things than me. The team win, yes. Okay, everyone should get a pat on the back. They were all awesome. Thomas Bryant should get a fraction of the conference finals MVP. Bryant. Shout out to him. 3 of 3 to start game 6. Finishes 3 of 4 from 3. He had 8 points in the second half. He had a big block as soon as he came back into the game when Miles Turner went out with 4 fouls. And Jake was on the playback. He's like, oh, no, it's Thomas Bryant. He's back in. And then he immediately just has these big momentum swinging plays.
Crazy.
I mean, Obi Toppin had good moments in this. Obi Toppin, by the way, who just didn't want to dunk the ball all of a sudden in Game 6.
Nembhard made Jalen Brunson hate his life for the entire Game 6.
And then also Nembhard went 4 of 5 in the second half and made a bunch of big shots in Game 6.
Oh
like Nembhard was incredibly defensively, not only in this series, but throughout the entire playoff run, where he was defending guys like Donovan Mitchell and whoever he had to defend on the Bucks. I don't know if I would say Dame is in there because Dame hurt himself. But Nembhard has walked the walk this entire time. He's been awesome. The Pacers are really fun. Shout out Rick Carlisle, former Celtic. Shout out Aaron Nesmith, former Celtic, who made a lot of fans in this series, I would say. He was super impactful.
I was listening to the Low Post earlier in the series, and it's less that the Pacers play with this like super up-paced ball movement transition style, and more that they do it without turning the ball over. Like they play as fast as possible and never turn. You know who averaged the most turnovers for the Pacers in this conference final series? Do you want to guess?
It's got to be like Miles Turner. He was fucking awful.
Miles Turner. He averaged 2 turnovers a game, and that was the
Miles Turner, by the way, just made me want to rip my hair out.
Oh.
Like he was healthy, but he
froze. You froze when you said "made me want to blank," and I didn't hear what you said.
I'll let everyone just fill in the blank.
Sure.
Actually, but he was like if you were healthy but played like 50% of what Porzingis did.
Yeah,
in the playoffs.
I mean, the numbers say he wasn't terrible. He definitely wasn't as good. He was really good in that Cavs series, and then he had a rough conference finals. He just didn't shoot the ball well. But
he was actually not terrible in Game 6. He made a couple big threes.
He had 2 blocks. He averaged 1.8 blocks in the series. The problem is he just doesn't rebound the ball. But
he also just was like trying his best to defend Cat, but it wasn't working.
Cat's a big dude. Cat's a big motherfucker. Shout out James Johnson. We got James Johnson Eastern Conference Finals minutes.
He should have been the MVP.
Shout out fucking Tony Bradley. Shout out Tony Bradley.
That's not who I was going to say should get a piece of the Conference Finals MVP trophy. I think Pat McAfee deserves a piece of the Conference Finals MVP trophy for just taking the mic in the middle of Game 4 and telling all the celebrity Knicks fans to go home. And then John Mellencamp got mad at him. Did we already talk about this on the show?
Ben Stiller got mad at him, but
Ben Stiller also getting mad at that was stupid. I will give Ben Stiller a pass because he was a direct victim of the spiel. Like, Pat McAfee mentioned him by name and was like, get him out of here or whatever. If you're going to be like New York would never do. I mean, they threw trash at the kid in the Halliburton jersey. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't really care. It's whatever. Like, of course, the Knicks fans are going to go support their team. This is the deepest they've been in the playoffs in 20 years. Of course.
Oh, they should have went. Respect to them for going.
Of course, Pat McAfee is going to say something like that because,
Correct.
If they're in your house, like, nobody was wrong in those instances. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it's sports. Well, maybe don't throw the trash at the kid in the streets.
Don't throw trash at the kid. Knicks news, though, on the other hand. There's been little tidbits leaking out following their elimination. This is from Fred Katz and James Edwards III at The Athletic. New York organized multiple players-only meetings after embarrassing defeats throughout the postseason run with various degrees of intensities. It's not uncommon for teams to hold these meetings without coaches, but it is rare for the squads that went as far as the Knicks did to do it as often as they did in the playoffs, and for the kick in the behind reasons they occasionally deem necessary. 2025 Knicks dealt with disputes on the bench, criticism about their starters playing too many minutes, which one of which came from the inside, and public comments of sacrifice, egos, and agendas, all in quotations. On one night, they would roar back from down 20 points against the Celtics. On the next, they would mail in a potential series clincher. So obviously, it would require a kumbaya moment. There was also a report I saw. I forget exactly where it came from that like people didn't like Cat because his defense was shit, and like
that's in this.
Fuck with that. Oh, that's in this. Okay.
Yeah, it's at the bottom.
Yep. Publicly, Knicks made their veiled comments all season about poor communication causing their inconsistencies behind the scenes. They and coaches expressed frustration with Towns' defensive habits. Thibodeau is the coach has the backing of the team president. Brunson, basically, everyone loves Tibbs, but it's going to be James Dolan's decision, so who knows? And then Mikal Bridges in March. Bridges violated one of the no-nos in playing for Thibodeau, questioning the heavy minutes for starters. Played under the coach during a news conference with reporters. The comments rubbed the coaching staff the wrong way, and it showed a disconnect. It's too early for them to lock it. Is this also from it, or did you add this?
This is from the same thing.
It's too early for them to lock in any major decisions about the roster, though. Bridges' next deal will be a story of the summer. Comes eligible for a 4-year, $156 million before next season. A lot of mess coming out of the Knicks after the elimination, which, in their defense, like this isn't an uncommon thing when a team loses this deep into the playoffs. Like a couple years ago, I thought I had that whole piece on like Missoula lost the locker room or whatever. But oh boy, that's all I'll say.
My favorite part of this is Bridges complaining about the heavy minutes when his whole thing is he doesn't miss games. Like he actually played like 83 games because he got traded in one season, and he played more games than the actual season.
I will say, if there was anybody who ever would have or be allowed to complain about heavy minutes, it's the guy who is playing every game. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I think that goes a long way.
Is this the most minutes he's ever played? Yeah, this is the most minutes he's ever played in his career per game, by far.
That's Tibbs, and everybody this year was feeling really good about the amount of minutes those guys played because nobody got hurt in the playoffs for them. They were able to survive. They were conditioned to handle the late game scenarios.
I think yes, but I did hear a lot of gripes from Knicks fans that it was a problem not because of the minutes themselves causing injuries, but because the minutes themselves didn't allow the depth to be as good as it could have been, which then hurt them later in the playoffs. Like, look at the Pacers series. Like, they didn't have the depth because those guys never got the chance to play all year, and so obviously they're not going to be very good with those lineups. Like, the problem is less minutes leading to injuries, and the problem is more like you're not making use of like the potential depth pieces. Not even like Shamet and Delon Wright, who are random, but like they signed Shamet for a reason. Like, he was really good for them in the preseason. He showed some stuff. Like, you've got younger pieces like Miles McBride, who didn't get enough chances throughout the season, who people think could have been a starter for longer stretches. You've got guys up and down the roster who are not getting their chance to contribute, who then aren't ready in the playoffs because Tibbs is running players 35, 37, 40 minutes in the regular season.
At first, I was like, what are we talking about? Like, they just don't have the depth. Like, no, I don't blame Tibbs.
They don't play the depth is the problem. Like, Miles McBride could have played more minutes.
Miles McBride, I will give you. Landry Shamet, what are we talking about? He was decent. He was decent in this series.
He was.
What are we talking about with Landry
It's almost
Shamet?
like he could have been even better if he had gotten some chances to play. Listen, like, people probably say the same shit about Luke fucking Cornett until he gets the chance to play and show it. Like, what do you mean? What do you say? I'm like, these are not like Luke Cornett wasn't a name 2 years ago. And then look, they give him a chance to play. They let him grow and look what he turns into. right? Like this is not some crazy thing. Like people need opportunities to play before they can be the player they are. Peyton Pritchard wasn't in the rotation 2 fucking years ago, and then he got a chance to play, and then he grew into. I'm not saying Larry Shamit's going to be the 6th man of the fucking year, but at least give him a chance to show you something, so you don't have to get to this point where you have no options, where a team is running you to the bone because that is how they play, and then you have no even choice to go to somebody else. Even if Shamit was bad in the regular season, at least have the knowledge that he was bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least figure it out in the regular season.
I guess having the evidence makes sense. But, like, as far as Pritchard and Cornette go, it's, like, more about they had guys in front of them. Pritchard especially. Pritchard would show you the flashes. You kind of knew it was there. Luke was really good in the 23-24 season whenever he got starting time, like with Horford and Porzingis missing games. So you kind of knew that was there too. But for those guys to be as effective as they've been, there's also a lot of required improvement that had to happen. And we've heard all the stories of Pritchard being a psycho in the offseason and having the really extreme workouts where he's trying to get through 2 shoulder width cones and try and beat his defender in that range. Like,
yeah,
they're doing crazy stuff. And who's to say that Shamit can't improve? But there's a reason why Shamit is bouncing from team to team, and
sure,
he was not a desired piece. I mean,
I
with
get
today's
it,
NBA, a guy that can shoot threes like that should be like, oh, what if he was a role player on this team? And there's a reason why he's not.
I get it, but like Shamit's played 20 minutes a night for the past like 7 seasons. Like it's not like he hasn't been playing. It's not like he's been like a nothing player. Like he has been a rotation player almost everywhere. Like leading up to this Knicks season, he played 23 minutes his rookie season per game, 27 for the Clippers, then 23 for Brooklyn, then 21 for Phoenix, 20 for Phoenix. He only played 16 last year in Washington because it was the Wizards and they had their own shit going on. But like, it's not like he wasn't a rotation piece up until now. And then like they were still like, he had been a regular NBA player for his entire career up to this point. Like, I'm not saying him not playing Landry Shamet was the life and death of this Knicks season. I'm just saying I understand why Knicks fans are frustrated that Tibbs is determined to play his guys 37 minutes a night instead of let's get McBride up to 28 instead of 25 so he can have a little bit more run with the starters for the playoffs. Let's get Shamet up to 18 instead of 15. Let's get, fucking Tyler Kolek more than 7 minutes a night. Let's see what we have him for the regular season. Ariel Hook-Porty showed you something enough to get on a standard contract. Why not show it? Like, it's just these little decisions of like a 3-minute swing here or there being the difference between we know what we have in this guy and he is comfortable playing with this rotation if we need him to in the playoffs versus fuck now why are Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright on the floor? Like that's the difference. That is the difference.
Can't wait till Tyler Kolek's on the Celtics. It's gonna be awesome. I'll buy the jersey.
Next thing, according to the Toronto Star, Giannis and the Raptors have mutual interests. This is very random. I will say I kind of get it. Like I said this before this season when I was wrong because they got hurt and they were bad. The Raptors don't have a bad roster, right? Like they have
no, they don't.
If they have a star, my only issue is what are you trading for Giannis? Like that's where the problem is going to be because like can you make the trade for? I'll pull it up. Can you make the trade for Giannis and still have a good roster around Giannis after the trade? Like I think that is what is going to determine whether it happens or not. I think you almost have to trade Scotty Barnes, not from a yes, the Bucks are going to require him, which they probably will, but also like as stupid as it is, they're kind of the same player.
Yeah, he's like the Walmart Giannis.
Exactly. So let's take a look here.
I'm just trying to look at what picks they have. That's the thing I'm most curious about.
I have it up on the screen here. So Raptors picks first off. They have 9 this year, so they can send Milwaukee 9. They have all their picks. They have 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. They have every single pick they own.
Okay. Well, that's step 1 to being able to get Giannis.
Let's say they got it. We'll send a swap. We'll send a pick. We'll send a swap. We'll send a pick. We'll send a swap. Right. And a pick. Or maybe they wouldn't have to give, but let's just assume they have to give up every fucking pick.
7 first-round picks would be electric.
Everyone. And then what? Then you run into like, what is the salary? Right. Let's say is this poison pill? What is this? This might be poison pill. So this might get screwy. Regardless, let's say they want Scotty, and then you get to, I don't know, what would you rather, like, you trade Ingram right away? That'd be kind of funny. How much salary? We need to clear 15 more mil. So what would, like, if you're the Bucks, Sam, what are you asking for after this? Grady
So
Dick?
you're already getting Scotty. I don't know, man. This is
greedy.
hard.
It's Giannis.
Be greedy?
It's Giannis. It's the best player on the planet. It's the best player.
I think you have to ask for Grady Dick. Like, that has to be part of your, like, what if he develops a little bit at just 22? But the Raptors are going to keep guys. Like, if I'm Toronto, I'm not giving you RJ. Probably not giving you Quickly or Ingram. Like, you have to have players left to play with Giannis, right? Like, you can't really do that.
So then we get to what? Scotty, Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Ochai Agbaji, and 7 first.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Probably not.
That if you're the Bucks? No, right? That's what I'm saying. So, like, let's take Ochai Agbaji out of it. Let's take this guy out of it. Like, what if it's Quickly? Like you say, give me Quickly instead.
I don't even know if I want Quickly. I think that Quickly contract's kind of bad.
Let's say it's Barrett. Like, do you ask for Barrett? But then the Bucks are getting too much money.
So then Toronto might as well be the Bucks in that situation. You know what sucks is, like, it would be really fun for trade machine purposes to be like, what if to get Giannis, you also had to absorb the Dame contract?
That would be funny. I mean, that'd be possible. So, like, would you take Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and 7 first-round picks for Giannis?
I mean, 7 first-round picks. Seven first-round picks is crazy.
4 first, 3 swaps. 4 first, 3 swaps.
Rethinking this, I actually think you might have been able to get it done with the first slate of guys with 7 first-round picks.
4 first, 3 swaps. That's very different. It's different. It is, because 3 of those are not you're getting an extra first. It is you have the option to get a better first. Because, like, what if the Raptors are worse than the Bucks at that point? Then that is nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, then it is useless.
Yeah, I know, like, Milwaukee's going to be really bad, so those swaps won't really equate until the end of this deal. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm not qualified to talk about this because I don't care enough about either team's,
what about
like,
this? Scotty,
emotional
RJ,
investment.
Grady Dick, and the picks.
That's the best one I think we've put together so far, where Bucks fans could feel something about what they're getting in return.
So then Raptors would roll out what? Quickly, Agbaji, Brandon Ingram, Giannis, and Pirtle. What does that do for you?
We've reached a point with, like, a guy like RJ. You kind of know what he is.
RJ Barrett?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, what is the post Raptors Giannis trade lineup do for you? Like, it would be Quickly, Agbaji, Ingram, Giannis, Pirtle in the East.
I mean,
like,
Ingram can kind of be your de facto Chris Middleton in that equation, right?
Yep, but then what? Quickly's Drew Holiday?
No, he's not. He certainly isn't. I think if you're the Raptors, you want to do this trade ASAP. Or whoever's in a trade for Giannis, you want to do it ASAP because you want to make sure not only, like, you can draft, like, to get replacement guys. Well, obviously Toronto can't draft, but Milwaukee would probably like to draft. But you can also, like you said, lure the free agents that are like, oh, yeah, I'm down. I'll play with Giannis.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, after this trade, the Raptors would be an under the first apron team, so they would still have a lot of flexibility to make moves. Maybe you bring in an MLE guy, maybe you bring in a free agent here, maybe your second round pick you hit on. I mean, and then we get into the world of, like, they still have Mobo and Jamal Shed, so you can bank on their hopeful development, or you can include them in the trade and say, hey, we want to keep Grady Dick. Can you take these guys and we'll shell out a couple seconds, something like that. I think there is a framework here. Like, if there is truly mutual interest, like, if I'm the Bucks, I'd be okay with that little Raptors core being my spearheading my next, subsect of the franchise. Because I think Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and Grady Dick truly is enough to compete for the play-in year in, year out, which, if you have no reason to tank, you might as well, right? Like, you might as well try to get that extra playoff play-in revenue. But I don't know. We'll see. The honest sweepstakes is going to be very, very interesting. And at the end of the day, he might just fucking stay in Milwaukee for all we know. Like, he might. So who knows? But Last NBA thing before we move on. The Suns coaching finalists are here. They have
Fuck
finally narrowed
off.
down the search. I will say I
I
have
put this on the
completely-
sheet, so it's
I
my
know.
fault.
I have avoided this completely. I've
Yep.
seen the news, but I have not cared enough to dive in. But the finalists of the Suns search are 2 Cavs assistants, associate coach Johnny Bryant and assistant coach Jordan Ott. So
I feel like this
Any
tells
thoughts?
you a little bit about what Phoenix plans to do. I mean,
Rebuild.
we know that Durant is a foregone exit this summer. That's what it feels like. Bring in coaches that are not big names, as Phoenix has over the last several seasons. Like first it was Monty,
They know
and
they're
they
not
got rid
gonna
of
be a title
Monty,
contender.
and then they brought in Vogel, and they got rid of Vogel, and then they brought in Budenholzer, and they got rid of Budenholzer. So
I
it
will
seems
say-
like they're ready to give somebody a chance to develop as a coach.
I was gonna say, maybe they still do want to compete for the playoffs and a title, which I don't think they will. But they understand that we can't go that route again. We can't try to sign one of those guys again. But that was all. We can go to the rat list. Sam, what do you got for me?
Rat list. Where do I want to start? Rat list is vomit. So yesterday at 11, I was sitting here hanging out, and I was like, oh boy, I don't feel good. I don't know when the last time I threw up is before yesterday, but I was about ready to go to bed, which I would say is the worst time to get sick because you just want to go to bed and you can't go to sleep. So I was sitting here, I was fucking around the computer, and I'm trying not to vomit because I'm well, if I can just get to bed, I'm probably going to wake up feeling okay the next day. I finally was able to do it. I tried one time, didn't work. Vomited a lot. I think it was 5 heaves. Pretty big stats day for me. Cleared out the
Why?
stomach. What do you mean why?
What'd you eat? Did you eat something?
I just had my mom made chicken yesterday and she made brownies. I had a little bit of both. I think it was the brownie because when my mom makes brownies, you either get a brownie that is like a cake or you get a brownie that is if you took the brownie batter and put it in 2 sheets of brownie crust. And I had one of the brownie crust ones.
So it's just liquid?
Maybe the inner thing got me. And then I went to sleep and I woke up and threw up a little bit again. But now I feel better.
That's gross.
It was terrible. Throwing up is terrifying. Because you know it's going to suck. You know it's coming. And there's nothing you can do about it.
No. No, it sucks. So I talked about this a little bit with Noah. Rat list, not the tournament itself, but I played in a 3v3 tournament this weekend with Noah, her roommate, her brother. It was fun, right? But Noah told me going in, this is gonna be a competitive. There's a lot of teams who really like to try, and I didn't realize how there was a 6'9" dude. It was there's a lot of people who really want to win this tournament. And we did better than we thought. It was double elimination. We went 2-2. So we won 2 games. So it was all right, we got a couple wins in there. It was fine. But it was just a lot of people trying a little bit too hard. And we luckily didn't go up against any of those teams, but just watching the games, I was oh yeah, this is annoying as fuck. I would get pissed off if I had to do this.
Being the tallest guy on any team is a dangerous game to play.
I like it.
Well, there's always the risk that you end up playing the behemoth guy. And you don't want to have to do that.
I would rather guard Kari than Trevor. Referencing Globe Ball.
Really?
Have you seen me, dude? Of course. What? Have you seen the way I play? Obviously.
Yes.
I can't
yes,
move
but I don't know. In my men's league, the last session, there was this 6'6", 6'7" guy, and he was a dog in the post. And I guarded him one possession.
Yeah. Well, because you're quicker than you are strong.
I thought I was going to throw up.
Quick. I'd rather guard Worth than Proc 10 times out of 10. Not even.
For perspective, Worth is our 6'2" Jokic that we play with. And Proc is a little quick guard.
Pain in the ass. Noah did call me Jokic on the pod yesterday, though. Felt good.
Felt good. There you go.
Well, I was because she did her she on her podcast. She was somebody asked what is my NBA comp, and she said Brandon Bass, and that was fucked up because that's just not.
I think Brandon Bass is my NBA comp.
Bullshit. But then she was no. She said Jokic if he was really really bad at playing basketball, which was really funny.
Well, you didn't tell the whole story. You're she called me Jokic.
She did. She said Jokic,
Yeah.
and then she clarified like 5 minutes later. So if you cut the clip right,
I wish we had a graphics team. We would make the quote card of Noah saying he's like Jokic on Jack Simone's NBA comp.
maybe I'll make that. I do play like a shitty Jokic. Like that is how I play.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Rat List is moving. On Saturday, I helped my girlfriend move. It's why I was not on the show. It's why you guys got Noah, which everyone was probably happy about, especially Jack. It's a big upgrade for him. Moving is actually the worst thing ever. And it wasn't even that bad. It was first floor to first floor, this move. It was...
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, but it just sucks. Like, okay,
Yeah.
you never want to be the tallest guy in the basketball team, but you never want to be the biggest guy in the move. Because you always have, especially like you're moving with like the ladies. Kaylin wants me to carry everything. This dresser we got. All right, this fucking dresser we got like a year ago. Heavy as shit. The drawers don't come out. It's awful. The bottom drawer is broken. It doesn't extend. We couldn't even like open it to get the stuff out. We end up breaking the drawer. She's trying to fix this drawer as if she knows what she's doing, like trying to like hot glue the front on.
Yeah.
It is a sunk cost. Just give it up. So that was a whole process. But anyways, yeah, long day. Long day. It's like somehow we had something else to do after we completed every task.
Ugh.
But we did it.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm not looking forward to my move because the street we're gonna live
Me neither.
Why? Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm moving. I have to. I've never moved before.
The street we are going to live on next year is like, it's a no parking street because it is so small that you can barely fit one car down it, and we have to bring like a whole ass. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. And we're moving on September 1st when everyone is moving in and out of that same place. It sucks. It's not gonna be fun. But it'll be fine. We'll get there eventually. Michaela's moving at the end of this month though, so I'm gonna have to help, which is I don't care. It's whatever. But
she live on the what floor?
I have no idea. Oh, of her current
You know
place?
what floor she lives on?
Oh, current. I thought you meant new place.
You got to put a blindfold on every time you go over.
She lives on the second floor of a new place, which is gonna suck. But that's all right.
Man, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to pack shit up and everything. I don't even like going to the Celtics games. I like going to the Celtics games. I don't like the process of having to break down my setup where I'm at right now, put it in my backpack, go to the garden, unpack it, set up, repack it. I hate it. I hate going on trips. I hate having to pack a luggage. I'm gonna have to pack all my shit. It's gonna be terrible.
Correct. Yeah. Good luck.
You got other stuff? I got other stuff.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I think I'm good. All my rat lists would be like playing basketball. Because I played like the last 4 days. I played 2 sets of post only 1v1s against Jay King the other day. And
How'd
we
that
didn't
go?
finish the second game. He beat me in the first one, 11-9. And then I was up 10-3 in the second game. And he started like locking in on defense or whatever, so we got it back to like 10-9, but it was my ball. But then the runs were starting, so we played those instead. But it was fun. But by the time the games were like the runs were starting, my legs were just fried because I was just fucking battling in the post for like 30 minutes. But that was fun.
Rat list. College football's back. I know I've talked about the new game coming out next month. I have reignited the league I had with my friends. So it's me, Jack's brother Henry, and a bunch of my friends. We did our off season yesterday. And for those that have never played the game,
with 26 college football 26
is not out yet, so we played 25. And I had a league that I was playing with like all of my home friends. And then I stopped because the Celtics, I was just like, I don't have time for this. I need to focus. And so we restarted it. And when you play this game, you can make custom schedules. So like the people that are users in the league will play against each other. So it's not user versus CPU games every single week. And I was trying to do that, and the game just gave me hell. Like I gave up. So there was a game on week 0 between Frank and this guy Colby. And if you've listened to the show for a long time, my friend Frank is an awesome dude. He is a character. He is the nicest guy. But when he he's competing, he gets very frustrated, very upset, and this game brings the darkness out of Frank. So we had the two of them stream the game. We were all watching the game last night, and Frank ends up winning, and he doesn't have like that great of an offensive game until he taps into the darkness, calls me some names, and then immediately breaks off a 30-yard run. Like, this is the type of content we all get on Xbox for.
Who won the game?
Frank won in overtime.
Wow. Wait, what?
We got an overtime. Frank was Iowa State, and this guy Colby was Michigan. But mind you, this is years in where Frank has already built up Iowa State.
Was Colby pissed?
Yeah, he wasn't that pissed. He was a little pissed.
I see.
Frank is always the one to watch for getting pissed, though.
I see.
Number one pissed guy.
I don't think I have anything else.
Okay.
You know what I was watching, actually? I finished the rehearsal.
I want to talk about this. I didn't put it on the sheet. So I am about halfway through season 2 of the rehearsal. The last one I watched is when Nathan relives Sully's life, the pilot.
Yeah.
When this isn't really like a spoiler, but like the funniest thing I think I've seen on this show is the reveal of Nathan dressed up as baby Sully in this gigantic room where he's starting out as an infant.
So Michaela had me watch the rehearsal, and I went over there last night to like watch the rest of the season. But like I watched season 1 of the rehearsal like 2 weeks ago, right? So like or like a month ago maybe.
A while ago, because we were at the games talking about it.
Yeah, so but like new. Like this wasn't like I watched it when it first came out. Like I've watched both seasons recently. And the whole first episode, I was just looking at her. I'm like, this is fake, right? Like this is a skit. Like this isn't actually a real. And she was just like, dude, it's fucking real. I'm like, there's no fucking way it's real. It's insane. I'm like, it's baffling.
Have you seen Nathan For You?
No, that's
you have to watch Nathan For You.
I'm watching. So last night we started watching Couples Therapy. Have you heard?
No.
It is like they just film like real couples therapy sessions, like real people doing couple. And you make that face.
Who's signing off on that?
Once again, for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, this cannot be real. Like this cannot be a real thing, but it's fucking real.
That defeats the whole purpose of going to therapy. The purpose of going to therapy is so you can talk openly and feel good about
it. The cameras, it's weird, right? Because like yes, but like they obviously have to sign off on it. And the way the cameras are set up, from what I was explained, is like the whole back wall is like a 2-way mirror type thing. So they can't see any cameras. There are no visible cameras in the room. So they are like put in a situation where they're like, I don't know, they like their walls come down because they don't like it just feels like they're in the room. It's very weird. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like it's like how would you? I know, I agree.
I understand like it's meant to seem like a safe place, but they are signing off. Like, they know that they're going to be on camera.
I agree with you, but then watching them like go through this, like you can see them clearly like slowly forget about that part and just remember the fights that they are having with each other and like get back. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing takes precedence in your brain and you forget about that. It's wild. It's wild.
My last thing is not necessarily a rat list. It is, well, I don't know. It kind of belongs. It kind of doesn't. So rat list is excitement. Last night, before I vomited, I was sitting at my desk enjoying an hour of Gilga Radio. Gilga Radio is Donald Glover's Childish Gambino's like thing that he does. It's like he has a company called Gilga, whatever. Yesterday I was online. I happened to stumble upon that they were having it that day. I don't think he's done this since last year when he was on tour and he put out 2 albums last year. So he had to cancel the tour because he got sick. So this might mean we're all back. There was no announcement yesterday or anything on the stream, but there's going to be one next Sunday. So I will be seated Sunday night.
Is it just him talking?
No, he wasn't even on it, which is the weird part. But you'll like this. So they had like during the stream, which is just audio, they had fake advertisements like made up with AI. Like high-quality AI. And the first one is an Anthony Edwards commercial where he's promoting a product called Plan AE. And it's basically, the product is like learning how to just say, I don't want to be a father to your baby mama is the service. I'm going to see if I can find a recording, and I will try and timestamp it for you, because I think you'll get a kick out of it. But anyways, Donald might be coming back. I can't wait. And if he tours again, even if he's not here.
Too.
Who is?
So we're both up. Noah Khan's working on a new album too.
I saw the thing that Owen O'Connor tweeted at you, and I thought it was Max from Part of My Take. That's how out of the loop I am. I was like, who is that?
Also, circling back, have you seen any spoilers about the rehearsal, or are you like good?
Well, I'm aware of like it making a impact. I haven't had anything ruined for me, but I know he's been on the news and everything.
Good. We'll chat once you finish. I need to talk about
rehearsal talk.
Yeah,
soon
incoming. Okay. Anyways, that's about it for us. Appreciate y'all. You're good, right? Yeah. Nothing else.
Yeah, I'm good. That was the end.
All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to How About Them Celtics, and I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. We're here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday game recaps are up the morning after each game, and other videos like this one are up in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us streaming live before each game for pregame, but that won't be happening for a little while. But be on the lookout. We'll probably do streams this summer at some point, which we say every year and it never happens. But I want to do it. I want to do it this year. Be on the lookout. Spotify and Apple, you can find us there too. We'll upload all pods and game recaps there. So if you just want those, they'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Big shout out to Rob today. 2 great emails explaining CBA financial rules, something I think everyone can benefit from, especially when it's made easy to understand. hbtcpod@gmail.com, again, is the address if you want to get in on the fun. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.